नमस्ते दोस्तों, आपका वैल्यू एजुकेटर चैनल में स्वागत है, जहां आप सीखते हो स्टॉक मार्केट में निवेश करके आप कैसे पैसे बना सकते हो। तो मेरा नाम है शशांक और ये वीडियो हम ऐसे एक लार्ज कैप कंपनी के बारे में स्टडी करेंगे कि जिसने उनके जो प्रॉफिट्स है वो लास्ट 10 ईयर्स में लगभग 20% से ग्रो किए हैं एंड सेम हैज बीन रिफ्लेक्टेड इन देयर स्टॉक प्राइस। जो स्टॉक प्राइस है वो लगभग 20% से यहाँ पे ग्रो हुआ है। बट यही कंपनी ने रिसेंटली जो हाई क्रिएट किया था वो हाई से लगभग ये जो स्टॉक प्राइस है वो लगभग 35% से डाउन है। जनरली मैंने वैल्यू एजुकेटर चैनल पे ज्यादा जो लार्ज कैप कंपनी से इनके वीडियोस नहीं क्रिएट किए हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है वो काफी इजीली मिल जाता है। मोस्ट ऑफ द वीडियोस मैंने आपके साथ जो शेयर किए हैं स्मॉल कैप्स हो गए, माइक्रो कैप्स हो गए या मिड कैप्स के शेयर किए हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो डेटा मिलना या इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करना इट इज नॉट वेरी इजी एंड इसीलिए आई थिंक इट्स अ वैल्यू एडिशन। बट यहाँ पर ये वीडियो में हम लार्ज कैप कंपनी के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे विच इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट कंसिस्टेंट कंपाउंडर टिल नाउ। क्वेश्चन इज कि आगे जाके क्या वो रिपीट कर पाएंगे या नहीं। तो ये जो कंपनी उसका नाम है दीवीज लैब एंड व्हाई आई एम डिस्कसिंग दिस स्टॉक पर्टिकुलरली, क्योंकि यहाँ पर काफी अनसर्टनिटी है। फिलहाल में स्टॉक प्राइस काफी गिर गया है, उसके क्या क्या रीजन है, क्या क्या वन ऑफ उनके रेवेन्यूज लास्ट ईयर में आए हैं, आगे जाके उनका जो ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल है वो कैसे आ सकता है। अब तक लास्ट 10 ईयर्स में कंपनी ने काफी अच्छा किया है। 10 ईयर्स का प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी एंड स्टॉक प्राइस यदि आप देखोगे तो वो एक दूसरे को रिफ्लेक्ट करते हैं। उनका रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड भी अच्छा है। क्वेश्चन इज आगे जाके कंपनी का क्या प्लान है, उनका अब तक का ये जो ग्रोथ हुआ उसमें क्या क्या रीजंस थे, क्या क्या कंपनी को चैलेंजेस आए। यदि आप हिस्टोरिकली देखोगे तो दीवीज लैब का जो स्टॉक प्राइस है वो हिस्टोरिकली भी लगभग 40 to 50% करेक्ट हुआ था जब भी उनको यूएस एफडीए का इंपोर्ट अलर्ट आया था। तो इसके बारे में ये वीडियो में हम काफी डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे। तो जरूर ये जो वीडियो है आप कंप्लीट देखिए और अब तक चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया होगा तो जरूर चैनल को भी सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए। सो नाउ लेट्स डिस्कस इन डिटेल अबाउट दीवीज लैब्स बिजनेस मॉडल।
Divi's Lab is one of a kind Indian listed pharma company. It is one of the largest suppliers of APIs and intermediates globally. They have a dominant share in several generic APIs like naproxen, dextromethorphan, levetiracetam, and gabapentin. They have achieved market leadership in these products through their focus on green chemistry, backward integration, and scale. Apart from generic APIs, Divi's also provides custom synthesis services to innovative pharma companies. They are also present in nutraceutical business where they supply the ingredients which are used in food, beverages, health supplements and animal feed industries. In 2022 financial year, they got 38% of their revenues from their generic API business segment, 55% from their custom synthesis business and 7% from the nutraceutical business segment. The company usually tries to keep the contribution from the generic APIs and custom synthesis in equal proportion. But in 2022 financial year, they manufactured and supplied molnupiravir, which was the COVID drug under their custom synthesis division. This increased the contribution from the custom synthesis division during the year. The company's products are primarily exported to the regulated markets, which are the Europe and North America, which makes 70 to 75% of their revenues. This is followed by India, Asia and rest of the world. To understand Divi's business, we need to understand how medicines are made. This is pharma value chain, which shows the ingredients that goes into making a drug. Almost all medicines start as a basic chemical. They are usually crude derivatives like benzene or phenol, which are known as starting material. These products are commodities as their prices fluctuate based on supply and demand, and that's why they have very low margins. These basic chemicals are turned into chemical intermediates through various reactions. Chemical intermediates are raw materials for the manufacturing APIs by themselves or in combination with other intermediates. Active pharmaceutical ingredients or APIs are the main components of the medicine that has the intended therapeutic effect on the body. APIs are manufactured through multi-step processes by purifying various intermediates. APIs make only a small portion of a final drug, but it is the most important part of the drug. You can find out how much APIs is contained in the final drug from the package of the drug. In short, basic chemicals go through various chemical reactions and are purified until they reach a very high level of the purity to finally become an API. The API is then mixed with various excipients, which are inactive ingredients in the final tablet like bulking agents, flavoring agents, coloring agents, and to make the finished dosage formulations, which is the final drug that we consume. So Divi's manufactures APIs and some intermediates and supplies them to drug companies who turn them into the final formulations. Their USP is that they have no intention to entering into the formulations. In this whole value chain, manufacturing of the APIs and intermediates is the difficult part, which requires a high level of technical expertise and skill to manufacture it economically. Making formulations is relatively the easier process. Divi's does not want to compete with their customers, but rather they want to be a partner to all the formulation companies. Divi started their business at the time when large pharma companies used to manufacture their own API for backward integration. They would sell their surplus supply to each other, but this created a conflict as they were competing with their customers. So Divi's was able to gain significant market share by not entering into formulations and supplying APIs to the formulation players. Even today we see the players like Laurus Labs who started by gaining significant market share in API and then forward integrated into the formulations. While it does give them the better margins, it also creates a conflict where they are competing with their customers for the same products. Divi's has said that they will never enter into the formulations. They want to play a complementary role and not a competing one. The story of Dr. Murli Divi's is very interesting one. He grew up in a small village and comes from the very humble background. He failed his intermediate exams because of his weak English. After seeing the disappointment it caused his father, he decided to take his studies more seriously and went on to finish the bachelor's in pharmacy from MIT Manipal. He then finished his PhD and went to the US to work with the companies like Trinity Chemicals and Fike Chemicals. After getting homesick, he decided to come back to India, where he met Dr. Kalam Anji Reddy, who is also a founder of Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. Together they bought a contract manufacturing company called Chemnor, and Dr. Murli Divi's became the managing director of the company. Chemnor was a loss-making company and Dr. Divi's and Dr. Reddy were able to turn the company around. It was later merged with Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. Dr. Murli Divi's left Chemnor to start Divi's Laboratories. They were initially focused on providing consulting services to chemical companies. Then his son Kiran Divi, who was now CEO of a company, told him that he would join the business if he provided custom synthesis services. So Dr. Divi sold his Chemnor shares, took a small loan and purchased a land parcel to set up a manufacturing facility. It was very difficult to get the clients for the custom synthesis business division back then, as the innovator did not trust the Indian companies with their intellectual property, as India was not a signatory to TRIPS yet. In meanwhile, to generate the revenues, Divi's laboratory develops the process to manufacture naproxen, which is an anti-inflammatory drug used to treat arthritis. They were also able to manufacture the drug much cheaper compared to other companies at that time, because the other companies used the chemical catalyst, but Divi's was able to make the drug through enzymatic process, which resulted in higher yields and less effluents. They have carried out this philosophy to this date of entering products where they can manufacture the product much cheaper through their technology and green chemistry. Divi's biggest strength is their mastery of green chemistry. The company tries to follow the principles of green chemistry. For example, we just looked at how the company used enzymes instead of chemical catalysts for manufacturing naproxen. This enabled them to have much higher yields and comparatively lesser waste. We see other examples where the company follows 12 principles of green chemistry, like atom economy, where they try to maximize the use of every atom that is used as an input, so the waste generated is reduced. They have also designed their reactors to be very energy efficient, which reduces their input cost. They design the processes where the effluents or waste generated as a part of chemical reaction is minimal. We can see the Dr. Divi's talk about here in this con call. What he tried to explain here is that if they use 10 kg as an input material, most of the company will end up with 5 kg of output and 5 kg of waste. But because of Divi's is so atom efficient, they can end up with 7 or 8 or 9 kgs of output, and remaining 10 to 20% they will recover, recycle and reuse. They can do this because of the scale at which they operate. They can invest much more into the having better yields and recovery compared to their competitors. We are seeing this happen currently, where the increase in energy prices is affecting smaller companies much more compared to larger companies like Divi's Labs. The company has superior technology compared to their competitors. In one of the con calls, because Dr. Divi pointed out that they don't use reactors which are commercially available. They have designed their own reactors which gives them better quality of products compared to their competitors and are more energy efficient. In pharmaceuticals, the quality and particle size is very important. These are affected a lot based on how the mixing happens or the construction of the reactors. So this gives them an additional advantage over other API companies. The key products of the company are naproxen, dextromethorphan, levetiracetam and gabapentin. Divi's has between 50 to 70% market share in these products. They have 70% market share globally in naproxen, which we have already discussed about. It was one of the first products they have entered. Naproxen is an anti-inflammatory drug which is the painkiller used to treat pain due to rheumatoid arthritis, gout or menstrual cramps. They have also 70% global market share in dextromethorphan, which is a cough suppressant. They have 60% market share in levetiracetam, which is used to treat epilepsy, and they have about 50% market share in gabapentin, which is used to treat seizures and neuropathic pain. These were the products that they have first entered into with the most efficient process, and they now have a dominant market share in these products. Divi's strategy for their generic products was outlined by management in this con call. They became the lowest cost producer of a product through green chemistry and technology. They then backward integrate up to starting materials so that they can maintain their leadership position and ensure security of supply. Here we can see the result of backward integration that the company has undertaken. Their imports as a percentage of their total raw materials cost have decreased substantially over the years. The management has been very forward looking and started de-risking their supply chains way before COVID. Even for products that they do not want to produce or the products that are not available domestically, they have been able to de-risk their supply chains from China. They have qualified vendors in other regions like Europe and North America so that they can ensure availability even if it is at slightly higher prices. Other products that company is present in are pregabalin, mesalamine, levopoda and valsartan. Divi's has about 20 to 30% market share in these products. These are the products which they have entered recently, unlike the products where they have 50% of the market share and they are present for 20 to 25 years. Pregabalin is slowly replacing the demand for the gabapentin, which is one of their big products. But Divi's was able to design an efficient process for manufacturing pregabalin as well. Mesalamine is used to treat inflammatory bowel diseases, while levopoda is used to treat Parkinson's disease and valsartan is used to manage hypertension. Divi's plans to take a dominant share in these products as well, as they are the lowest cost producers for these products. They will then backward integrate to improve the margins. An interesting thing to note about these products is that they are for the chronic diseases. The demand for the drugs like naproxen, gabapentin, pregabalin, valsartan and mesalamine is not going away anytime soon. They are high volume products with very stable demand. So this is a very secure business for the company. So these were the products that the company currently manufactures. Let's now take a look at what products the company is entering into. The first one is sartans. Sartans are also known as angiotensin II receptor blockers. They are a class of drugs that are primarily used to treat hypertension, which is high blood pressure. There is a hormone known as angiotensin II which causes our blood vessels to constrict, so blood pressure rises. Sartans work by blocking the action of the hormones, thus lowering the blood pressure. Divi's manufactures a range of sartans including losartan, valsartan, olmesartan, telmisartan and ibesartan. Similarly to their strategy, they have a more efficient manufacturing process for producing sartans. So just like their key products, these are also drugs used to treat chronic diseases. So these are very high volume products. So Divi's can benefit from their massive scale to produce these drugs economically. An interesting thing that has happened with sartans in 2019 was that US FDA found NMDA impurities in lot of drugs including the sartan drugs. We had discussed this issue in our Solara video where they also had NMDA issue with one of their key products, which is ranitidine. NMDA is a compound that falls under a group of compounds known as N-nitroamines. They are incredibly toxic compounds which can cause liver damage and even cancer. So the US FDA recalled many of the sartan products where the NMDA impurities were detected. Divi's was the only manufacturer where the NMDA impurities was not detected in their sartan products. This is because their manufacturing process was different compared to other API manufacturers, and NMDA was not formed in the drug through their manufacturing process. They are also backward integrated in sartan products where they manufacture the starting material known as orthotoluene benzonitrile or OTBN, and the starting material for all the sartans is same, which is OTBN. So Divi's is entering in the full sartan range of products as they are fully backward integrated and have the best manufacturing process. Several of the products are under development and they will be filing for them over the next few quarters. They expect to take significant market share in sartans over next few years. Another interesting area that the company is entering is into the contrast media. Contrast media are the substances that make certain body parts look different when they are subjected to imaging tools like X-rays. The major ingredient in contrast media is iodine. Bones block X-rays, and that is why they can be seen clearly on X-ray scan. But soft tissues like stomach and intestine do not block X-rays, which makes them less visible on a scan. So when the contrast media is injected, it helps to block the X-rays, which means we can see the image where the intestine is highlighted, which would not normally show up on the X-ray. Iodine-based contrast media are used for X-rays and CT scans, where gadolinium-based contrast media are used for MRIs. Divi's is developing a range of iodine-based contrast media and a few gadolinium-based contrast media. They already are manufacturing a few iodine-based products in their generic segment, and they also have a product in their custom synthesis segment as well. Management has said that contrast media as an industry is growing at 15 to 20% CAGR as doctors are increasingly relying on MRIs and CT scans to treat their patients. Divi's is hoping to be a dominant player in this segment as there are very few players, and Divi's have developed a process to manufacture them at very low cost. Recycling of iodine is very important in manufacturing contrast media as iodine makes up a majority of the cost of manufacturing these products. Iodine is a very scarce material and the prices of the iodine has gone up from 1800 rupees per kg in 2016 to 7100 rupees per kg in 2022. Divi's lab has designed a process where they can recover all the iodine that they use in manufacturing process, so they can produce a contrast media for cheaper compared to their competitors. Now we will look into the custom synthesis business of Divi's Labs. In this business segment, Divi's Labs manufactures APIs and intermediates for clinical trials and commercial products for global companies. We have talked about the CDMO business segment in past videos like Pharma series, which you can watch to get a better idea of how this business works. This is very high gross margin business for the company. Divi's has an R&D team of more than 500 scientists who design the innovative process to manufacture novel drugs of innovator companies. 12 of top 20 big pharma companies across US, Europe and Japan have been their clients for more than 10 years. An interesting thing about the CSM business was that in 2021 they were the largest manufacturer of the Molnupiravir API. So Merck, which is one of the biggest pharma companies in the world, developed this product called as Molnupiravir, which was used in treatment of COVID. Divi's was the CDMO partner to manufacture and supply this drug. Under normal circumstances, this drug would be only sold by the Merck as they had the patent for it. But because COVID was an extraordinary situation, Merck has given a voluntary license to any pharma company that wanted to manufacture this drug. So many pharma companies like Dr. Reddy's and Lupin took voluntary licenses to sell Molnupiravir. Divi's was the biggest global supplier for this drug, not only in India but also in other emerging countries where the company had taken the voluntary licenses. They were able to deliver this product in record time, where they put in capex of 400 crores and commercialize it within 6 months to manufacture this product. This caused the revenues from the CSM business to be much higher in 2022 financial year compared to other years. This was a one-off and Molnupiravir business is not expected to be a same size going forward. The company intends to go back to similar contribution from generic API and CSM business in future. The last business segment that company is present is into nutraceutical ingredients. Under this business, the company manufactures beta-carotene, apocarotenol, canthaxanthin, astaxanthin, lycopene, lutein, and vitamin A, D, and E. These products are primarily used in health supplements, food beverages, pet food, and animal feed. Divi's is one of the largest manufacturers of beta-carotenes globally. Beta-carotene is a pigment that is found in plants. It is responsible for bright red, orange, and yellow color of the various fruits and vegetables like carrots, papaya, and tomatoes. Beta-carotene is a precursor to vitamin A, which is good for eyesight. It also acts as an antioxidant. But most importantly, they use as a pigments to give the colors to various foods and drinks. The nutraceutical business is currently small for the company, but they expect it to grow very fast as the use of nutraceuticals in everyday life is increasing. People are relying more and more on the fortified foods and supplements to maintain their health. This industry is currently very consolidated with three players, which are DSM, BASF, and Divi's. Divi's has a competitive advantage over other players as all their operations are fully integrated at Unit 2, whereas the other players manufacture different forms of the products in different locations. Divi's can offer the entire range of products in various end forms like bedlets, sprays, dyed powders, and even liquid drops as per the need of their customers. Divi's has two manufacturing locations which are at Hyderabad and Visakhapatnam. Unit 1 was their first facility set up in 1995. They have about 500 acres of land over there. They have set up about 700 reactors here and they still have over 200 acres of land available for future expansion. They have also set up an SEZ unit at this site in 2020 financial year. Unit 1 has various regulatory approvals like US FDA, EU GMP, Japanese PDMA, Korean FDA, and COFEPRIS for Mexico. Their Unit 2 in Visakhapatnam was set up in 2003. They have 500 acres of land here as well, and 150 acres of land is vacant and available for future expansion. They have over 1100 reactors in Unit 2. Unit 2 is the largest API manufacturing site in the world. They have set up export-oriented unit at this site and several SEZ here as well. Unit 1 has various regulatory approvals like US FDA, MHRA UK, Japanese PDMA, Korean FDA, COFEPRIS Mexico, and TGA Australia. Divi's mostly have multi-purpose plants at both these sites, so they run large campaigns for their key products to reduce the cost and store them. This allows them to always have stock of their key products, but it greatly increases their working capital cycle. One issue that company had in 2017 was that they got an import alert from US FDA on Unit 2 in Visakhapatnam due to non-compliance with GMP standards. An import alert is a very serious issue and it means that the company's products cannot be imported into USA, which was one of the key markets. 10 of their products were exempted from the import alert like naproxen, levetiracetam, gabapentin, etc. because Divi's is such a big producer of these products that the import alert would result in a shortage of these drugs. As a result, only 5% of the companies were got affected. Kiran Divi was put in charge of remediation of issue and it was solved in 9 months or 3 quarters. This is a record time for the Indian pharma company as it usually takes companies 2 to 3 years to resolve the import alerts. The company since then put in much stricter compliance framework and have never had any issue since then. Now coming to the capex, the company currently does not have any major need for capex. They have already done a cumulative 2500 crores of capex since 2019 for expanding capacities, debottlenecking, backward integration, and infrastructure such as effluent treatment. They are still at about 80 to 85% capacity utilization. So there is a scope to increase the utilization. They also have about 500 crores in CWIP which will be capitalized by the end of the year to further enhance capacities. The management has said that they will be looking to enter into new chemistries such as peptide chemistry, flow chemistry, photochemistry, and antibody drug conjugates. But they do not foresee a huge investment for that. They build multi-purpose plants which can be set up quickly and they also have over 3000 crores of cash in balance sheet. So increasing capacity is not a big challenge. The one big investment that they are trying to make for a long time is that they are trying to set up a new unit at Kakinada. They have already acquired 425 acres in APIIC Kakinada, but due to local farmer protests, the development of the third unit has been delayed. The High Court has dismissed the farmer's case and management is expecting a land to be handed over to them within next year. However, the handover of this land has been delayed many times before as well. But it should not affect the operations of the company as they still have 200 crores of land at Unit 1 and 150 acres of land in Unit 2 for further expansion. They will be starting with an investment of 1000 crores at Kakinada and will increase the capacity when it is needed. If we look at financials, Divi's has always very stable and increasing revenues. They have been able to grow their revenues over 19% for last 11 years. In 2018 financial year, we can see the impact of import alert on the company's revenues. The issue has happened at the end of Q4 2017 and was resolved in Q3 of 2018 financial year. It was the only year when the company had degrowth in their revenues. Divi's also had the best-in-class margins of any generic API manufacturer. Their gross margins are over 60% and company has EBITDA margins in the range of 35 to 40%. Their PAT margins are also in the range of 25 to 30%. One negative about the company's financials is that they have the very high cash conversion cycles of over 300 days. This is because company stores a lot of inventory to always have a stock available for their key products and ample supply of raw materials. So the working capital is very long for the company. The company has produced very healthy ROC of over 30% on average and the company is completely debt free. In fact, they have never raised any outside money in form of either debt or equity. Everything the company has built, it has built on their internal accruals. The management has recently talked about how they plan to grow this business through 6 growth engines. The first engine is that their established generic portfolio. These are the products where they have 50 to 70% market share and are the largest player. Management believes that they will continue growing at 10%. These are the chronic products and the demand for them is expected to go up. The capacities need to go up with the demand, so they plan to maintain their leadership position in these molecules. The second growth engine is their generics with growth potential. These are the molecules where they have 20 to 30% market share. Management believes that similar to their older products, they can reach 60 to 70% market share in these products as well. The third growth engine is certain products where they are developing whole basket of products and expect to be a market leader in those products as well. After that, fourth growth engine is their contrast media business, which the company expects to grow very rapidly. Their fifth growth engine will be generics, which will be going off patent from 2023 to 2025. They have already identified several products with several billion in opportunity size and developed technology to manufacture them. The last and sixth growth engine will be their custom synthesis business, where they expect to commercialize several products over next few years. So the company looks well positioned to maintain its growth pace in future. Succession is also not a key risk as both of the children of Dr. Murli Divis has already joined the business. Dr. Kiran Divis is now CEO of the company. He is also very technocratic and seems to want to run the business with the same values that Dr. Murli ran it with. Dr. Murli's daughter Nilima Divi is also director of the company. She is in charge of procurement and responsible for company's reduced reliance on Chinese raw material imports. In one of the earnings call, Dr. Divis talked about how they are responsible for the company becoming less secretive with the investors. So to sum up the key strengths of the Divis business, they have very technocratic management with a very long history and best-in-class execution. They have massive scale, which is a very important advantage to have in API business. They have very long-term relationships with most of the pharma companies. So it is easier for them to market their generic APIs to them as well as their custom synthesis services. And lastly, they are constantly developing the best technologies for chemical manufacturing. And they also can handle wide range of complex chemistry. Dr. Murli Divis has talked about this in one of the earning calls. He said that it is not about the product you make, it is about what kind of technology you can handle. And Divis is constantly developing new technologies to give them an edge over the competition. Finally, let's talk about the risk. First is the reduction in demand for key products. The company gets a significant amount of their revenues from their top products. Any reduction in demand there could be negatively affected for the company's revenues. But they are very proactive with managing their risk. For example, as pregabalin was replacing the demand for gabapentin, which is one of their key products, they were able to develop a process to manufacture pregabalin at the lowest cost as well. Second is the competition risk. Pharma is an extremely competitive industry. Increase in competition for the company's products could cause significant price erosion. Third is client concentration risk. As we can see from this chart, a big portion of their revenues comes from their top 5 clients. Losing a big client will negatively impact the company's earning. And the last risk company faces is regulatory risk. They have had issues with the US FDA in past. Any such incidents in future will significantly impact the business of the company.
तो जैसे कि ये वीडियो हमने काफी डिटेल में डिस्कस किया कि दिविज लैब जो है उसका बिजनेस मॉडल क्या है, उसने कैसे कंसिस्टेंटली उनके जो प्रॉफिट्स है या रेवेन्यूज है ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ग्रो किए फॉर अबाउट 20% CAGR फॉर लास्ट 10 years. सिमिलरली उनके स्टॉक प्राइस ने भी यदि आप देखोगे तो कंपाउंडेड 20% की ग्रोथ दी है एंड जो रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड है वो भी 30% से ज्यादा है. और यदि आप देखोगे तो ये जो कंपनी है उसने उनकी जो शेयर होल्डर्स की इक्विटी है उसमें कोई भी डायल्यूशन नहीं किया है. सो विदाउट डायल्यूशन यदि आप उनका उनका मार्केट कैप देखोगे तो इट इज मोर देन 1 लाख करोड़। सो इट हैज बीन अ वेरी वेरी गुड ग्रोथ हिस्टोरिकली। क्वेश्चन इज कि आगे जाके हमें ऐसी कंपनीज को ढूंढना है कि विच आर राइट नाउ एट द वेरी स्मॉल स्केल बट उसमें काफी अच्छा ग्रोथ हो सकता है, एंड जो डिस्कवरी है वो ज्यादा डिस्कवर्ड नहीं है स्टॉक से, और इसीलिए जो वैल्यूएशन है विच आर वेरी गुड। एंड वी एट वैल्यू एजुकेटर आर ट्राइंग टू डू द एग्जैक्टली सेम थिंग। हम स्मॉल एंड माइक्रो कैप के जो स्टॉक्स है जो करंटली उनके अर्ली ग्रोथ स्टेज में है, जहां पे मैनेजमेंट अच्छा है, उनका बैलेंस शीट अच्छा है और ग्रोथ का एक अच्छा रनअवे है, साइज ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी काफी अच्छी है, एंड आगे जाके वो कुछ मार्केट शेयर ले रहे हैं या उनका कुछ डिफरेंशिएटेड बिजनेस मॉडल है, तो ऐसे कंपनीज को हम ट्रैक कर रहे हैं। या ऐसे केसेस में वी आर गोइंग एंड मीटिंग द मैनेजमेंट, वी आर डूइंग अ लॉट ऑफ स्कटलबट। तो फिलहाल में ही हमने एक कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट किया है विच इज हार्डली 200 करोड़ की कंपनी। तो उसमें भी यदि आप देखोगे तो दे हैव नॉट टेकन एनी डेट ऑन देयर बैलेंस शीट टिल नाउ, एंड जो भी ग्रोथ है दे हैव डन कंप्लीटली फ्रॉम देयर इंटरनल अप्रूवल्स। और ये केस में भी जो वैल्यूएशन है दे आर डिसेंट वैल्यूएशंस, ट्रेडिंग एट अबाउट 20-22 टाइम्स FY23 जो अर्निंग्स आने वाले हैं। और यहाँ पर भी मैनेजमेंट इज वेरी डेडिकेटेड मैनेजमेंट। और ये केस में भी यदि आप देखो तो जो कंपनी है वो सिर्फ 200 करोड़ की कंपनी है, बट जो मैनेजमेंट है इट इज कंप्लीटली प्रोफेशनल मैनेजमेंट। जनरली यदि आप देखो तो इंडिया में फैमिली ओन जो बिजनेसेस है उसका ट्रेंड है, बट ये पर्टिकुलर बिजनेस में उन्होंने कंप्लीटली जो प्रोफेशनल मैनेजमेंट है वो हायर है, and this company is growing by around 30% plus CAGR from last many years, and I am expecting उनके जो revenues है वो फ्यूचर में लगभग 25% से ज्यादा ग्रो हो सकते हैं और एटलीस्ट नेक्स्ट 3 to 4 years। और यहाँ पर ऑपरेटिंग लेवरेज का भी प्ले हो सकता है, जहाँ पे उनके जो मार्जिन है वो एक्सपांड हो गए बिकॉज उनकी जो फिक्स कॉस्ट है दैट वोंट चेंज, एंड जो डिफरेंस बिटवीन रेवेन्यू एंड जो एक्सपेंसेस है दैट विल कीप इंक्रीजिंग बिकॉज उनके जो फिक्स एक्सपेंसेस है वो स्टेबल रहेंगे। और यहाँ से जो एबिटा मार्जिन करंटली 10% के है दैट आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग टू इंक्रीज अप टू 15, 18 एंड इवेंचुअली 20%। यानी सपोज जो रेवेन्यूज है वो डबल होते हैं तो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी जो है वो एक्चुअली 4 टाइम्स हो जाएगा, एंड करंटली जो स्टॉक जो है वो 20-22 टाइम्स प्राइस टू अर्निंग पे अवेलेबल है विच इज नॉट वेरी एक्सपेंसिव। तो ये केस में भी ऑलरेडी आई हैड अ मीटिंग विद द मैनेजमेंट। तो ऐसी जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज है विच आर करंटली वेरी अनडिस्कवर्ड अपॉर्चुनिटी, अंडररेटेड अपॉर्चुनिटी, जहां पे वैल्यूएशन अच्छा है, वी डू द लॉट ऑफ स्कटलबट एंड ट्राई टू इन्वेस्ट वेरी अर्ली बिफोर इट इज डिस्कस मच इन द मार्केट। तो यदि आपको भी मेरे साथ जुड़ना है तो यू कैन ज्वाइन द माइक्रो कैप क्लब। इसकी जो लिंक है आपको नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगी या कमेंट सेक्शन में मिल जाएगी। वी हैव क्रिएटेड सेपरेट डिस्कशन ग्रुप फॉर द माइक्रो कैप क्लब मेंबर्स, जहां पे आप आपके अलग अलग जो क्वेश्चंस है दैट यू कैन आस्क। या इसके अलावा वी आल्सो कंडक्ट द ऑनलाइन मीटिंग्स वेयर यू कैन आस्क योर क्वेश्चंस, या मेरा जो पर्सपेक्टिव है दैट आई शेयर। काफी अलग अलग जो कंटेंट है दैट आई हैव शेयर्ड विद द मेंबर्स व्हिच इज रिलेटेड टू माइक्रो कैप स्टॉक्स व्हिच वी आर इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू। इसके अलावा भी जो सेक्टर रिलेटेड अपडेट्स है या जो स्टॉक रिलेटेड अपडेट्स है दैट वी कीप डिस्कसिंग एंड दैट आई हैव शेयर्ड ऑन माय वेबसाइट। तो यदि आपको भी ज्वाइन करना है माइक्रो कैप क्लब को, इसके रिलेटेड एक सेपरेट वीडियो भी मैंने क्रिएट किया है जिसकी लिंक आपको नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगी। यू कैन वॉच दैट वीडियो एंड डेफिनेटली ज्वाइन फॉर दिस माइक्रो कैप क्लब। आई एम श्योर इट विल बी वेरी वेरी बेनिफिशियल फॉर योर रिसर्च, क्योंकि माइक्रो कैप के जो स्टॉक्स है उसमें डिस्क्लोजर्स बहुत कम होते हैं, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी गो ऑन ग्राउंड एंड वी ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द एक्चुअल बिजनेस मॉडल। काफी समय बिजनेस मॉडल अच्छा होता है बट ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन या लैक ऑफ डिस्क्लोजर्स वी नॉट एबल टू टेक द पोजिशन, या इसमें ये जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है दैट वी मिस। तो इसीलिए वी हैव स्टार्टेड दिस माइक्रो कैप क्लब सो दैट आवर रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स गेट बेनिफिटेड आउट ऑफ इट एंड एवरीवन कैन क्रिएट द वेल्थ टुगेदर। तो यदि आपने अब तक ज्वाइन नहीं किया होगा तो यू कैन चेक द लिंक विच इज गिवन इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन। और मैंने ये जो वीडियोस क्रिएट किए हैं इसको काफी समय लगता है, इट इज वेरी इन डेप्थ रिसर्च वी ट्राई टू डू सो दैट वी कैन कम अप विद द बेटर एंड बेटर कंटेंट फॉर यू। जैसे कि ये दीवीज के केस में वी हैव टेकन अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स टू अंडरस्टैंड द बिजनेस मॉडल, अलग अलग उनके जो प्रोडक्ट्स है दैट वी हैव स्टडीड। सो इट्स अ वेरी एक्सटेंसिव प्रोसेस और ये एक वीडियो क्रिएट करने के लिए हमें एटलीस्ट 1 मंथ लगता है। तो यदि आपको ये मेरा काम पसंद आता होगा एंड वॉट एवर रिसर्च यू आर शेयरिंग विथ यू, इफ यू आर लाइकिंग इट तो प्लीज ये वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए, ये वीडियो सारे आपके फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि और किसी को भी ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग चाहिए होगा, ये एनालिसिस चाहिए होगा, इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस चाहिए होगा अबाउट द डिफरेंट स्टॉक्स या माइक्रो कैप स्टॉक्स, स्मॉल कैप स्टॉक्स, मिड कैप स्टॉक्स, सो दे विल गेट बेनिफिटेड आउट ऑफ इट एंड आवर रीच विल ऑल्सो इंक्रीज। सो आई एम रिक्वेस्टिंग यू दैट कि यदि आपको ये कंटेंट पसंद आया होगा तो जरूर इसे लाइक कर सकते हो, इसको शेयर कीजिए आपके सारे फ्रेंड्स के साथ, और आपके जो भी क्वेश्चंस हो गए रिलेटेड टू दीवीज लैब या बाकी जो भी स्टॉक के बारे में हमने वीडियो क्रिएट किए हैं, या इसके अलावा आपको कोई एक स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक पे या स्पेसिफिक कोई स्टॉक के रिलेटेड एक सेपरेट वीडियो चाहिए होगा तो जरूर आप मुझे नीचे कमेंट में लिख के बता सकते हो। आई विल डेफिनेटली क्रिएट द वीडियो फॉर यू। So now we'll meet next Saturday at 11 o'clock. Don't miss the Saturday sessions at 11 o'clock. It will add a lot of value and understanding about the different companies for which we are doing the in-depth analysis.